What's up, gang? Welcome back. Glad you're here. Doing something completely different today. Don't think I've done this yet. I have done alt country, but I've never actually done country. I just have not gotten around to it. I keep meaning to, but for some reason I don't. And honest, true story. Recently, Thanksgiving rolled around, and I had my stepson and girlfriend coming into town on Friday. So Thursday, my wife and I didn't cook or anything like that because it was just the two of us. And we were like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you want to do?" And we are like, "Well, let's go to the beach and we'll get something to eat out at this tavern we've never been to before." So we called them up. They were like, "We open at 2." So we got there at 2. No, they didn't open up till 4. So okay, we'll go over here to Poe's. Went down to Poe's Tavern, like 2:05 now, and they're like, "Oh, we closed at 2." I'm like, so apparently nobody at the beach eats between 2 and 4. So we kind of went into Whataburger, which I hadn't eaten at Whataburger in a while. I missed it. I was breaking keto for the first time since the beginning of September. And we had a great time. We're sitting there eating, and this song comes on the radio, and they're playing country, and I'm not really paying attention to it. My wife and I are talking, and this song catches my attention, but it catches it really late. And I'm like, "Who is that?" Like, I don't even know. So I pulled up my Shazam and hit it, and immediately it tells me Blake Shelton every time I hear that song. I'm like, I had no clue that was Blake Shelton. I mean, I've seen the voice, and I guess I've heard him say. I had no clue. I could not have picked out that dude's voice in a barrel. I don't know what that means. I don't know his voice. I never would have thought it would have been him. Like, it was nowhere near there. But the song caught my attention. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to check out that song. And I'm like, oh, I got a channel. I need to review that song. So today I'm watching it for the first time and reacting to it. And we're going to get a little country today. So this is Blake Shelton. And it's Every Time I Hear This Song. This song is about 6 years old, I think. This one has about 16 million views. It's about 4 years old. So it's popular, I guess. I don't know how it did on the charts or whatever. But we're going to check it out and see how good it is. So without any further ado, this is Blake Shelton, Every Time I Hear That Song.
There's something about yesterday, how fast it all flies away. I don't know what it is about a goodbye kiss that makes you want to stay. We were crazy, then we were over. We were breaking up, making love a runaway roller coaster. Every time I hear that song, I'm standing in the pouring rain on your front lawn, and ooh, I still think about you. Every time I hear that song, it's like the first time it came on, and ooh, I still think about you. I still think about you.
Okay, is it me? Like, if it wasn't for his voice, that dude's 100% country, gold country voice, great voice. But if it wasn't for his voice, I would, like, if I was just listening to the music and not hearing his voice, I would not place that as a country song. Like, that sounds like, I don't know, alt rock or old college rock, or I don't know, man. It just does not sound like country to me. I don't hear that twang. I don't hear that sound. That I'm not a country fan, so don't beat me up here. But that just doesn't sound country to me until he starts singing. And then it's like, oh, that's totally country. But man, his voice is really good. I love the way he that ooh, ooh, which I can't do it. But yeah, pretty solid, man. What was that line? What is it about a last kiss that makes you want to stay? That's a good line, man.
There's something in the bittersweet feeling of a memory. Right there in the moment, all I ever wanted was you and me. We were crying
Catchy, man. I want to sing along.
I hear that song, it's like the first time it came on, and ooh, I still think about you. I still think about you. Oh, still think about you. There's a soundtrack in my
That guitar. What is that song? That's that song. It reminds me of a rock song. Yeah. Coldplay. Yellow? It's not as fast. But that guitar reminds me of like Coldplay. It just does not sound like a country song. But man, that's so catchy. I want to sing along with it, but I want to hurt your eardrum, so I'm not going to. I'll hold off and do it later while I'm by myself. But the one thing I can appreciate about good country music, and I can't listen to a lot of country music all the time. I've worked in country bars when I was growing up as a bartender, and like I just learned to like tune it out. It just I don't know, it gets to me. It's kind of like the blues. Like I can listen to the blues for a little bit, and then like nope, I'm shutting it out and just concentrating on whatever else I'm doing. If I have to be around it, I can just only take so much of it at one time. I appreciate it. I like it. This song is amazing. And there's plenty of country songs that I actually do like. But one thing about country is that you can really hear the emotion in their voice when they sing. You know, he's going through this breakup and he's regretting it. He's going through these memories of every time he hears a song, he thinks about her and thinks about them and everything they had great together, but it just didn't work out because, you know, they were great together, but they were terrible together, you know, and you can just hear it in his voice. Like he obviously went through that kind of a breakup. And if you know his history, he did. And he has no problem putting that on his sleeve and wearing that heart on his sleeve. And when he does that, ooh, woo, it really adds a lot to the emotion of it. Sometimes you just have to make that sound instead of saying it, you know, to like get across the impression, and he does that really well in there. It's really cool.
That takes me back in time. When I hear that melody, I think about you and me. Every time I hear that song, I'm standing in the pouring rain on your front lawn, and ooh, I still think about you. Every time I hear that song, it's like the first time it came on, and ooh, I still think about you. I still think about you. Oh, still think about you. I still think about you. Yeah, I still think about you. There's a soundtrack in my mind that takes me back in time when I hear that melody.
I love that line. There's a soundtrack in my mind that takes me back in time, and when I hear that melody, that's a great line. It's funny how music can take you back in time like that. You know, there's certain songs you hear and you just, man, you can lose 20 years just like that, 30 years just like that. Like I can hear, there's certain songs I hear and it's like, it takes me back to high school, you know? And there's certain songs you hear that just remind you of that girl or remind you of that relationship you had. My wife and I have a couple of those songs. And maybe I'll get around to reviewing them because I love, you know, they're not typical songs, or like if you have our song, we don't do typical, and ours are very strange, but they're really awesome. And every time I hear them, it's just like, it just takes you back to like, you know, the first time you met that one that you fell in love with, or that time you broke up with them, or that time you had with them, or It's funny how music works like that, and associating that music with that breakup like that, like you instantly feel exactly what he's feeling. You know exactly what he's saying. You know, he could just sing that chorus over and over, and that's all you need to understand that song. But great song, man. It's an older song, I know. So maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. If you're not in the country, you probably haven't heard that song. I know I hadn't, and it's 5-6 years old or something like that. So I really appreciate it. But let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments on it. I'm really surprised by that being Blake Shelton and really just being a cool song. It didn't sound country to me until he starts singing, and then it's totally country, which is really weird. It goes from like this rock song to this country song just on the second he opens his mouth, which kind of blows me away. So I guess that's modern country. I don't know. Might have to do some more. If you want me to do some more country, please suggest something, because I have no idea what to look for. In the meantime, man, y'all have a great one. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Love you.